right, welcome to the Net That Haul Roast My Team special, otherwise known as RMT in the Twitter community. I'm here with FPL Lens, and I'm of course FPL Nima. It's nice to be back after missing the Gameweek 1 stream a few days ago. We thought we'd give you a bit of extra content leading into the start of the year, and I'm happy to say we've had, I think, more than 30 teams submitted. So we're going to go through together. We're both going to give them a score out of 10. And we're probably going to debate where we disagree, because I assume we have slightly different management styles, and there'll be some teams which Gabe likes and that I don't. So it's going to be fun. We're probably going to be here for about an hour, I'd say, max. So we're going to try to rattle through some of the teams. And then tomorrow, Gabe and Mariner will be back for a kind of deadline day special that we've also never done before. So I'll be at Fest, but I'll be trying to tune in and seeing if I can bother them in the live chat while I'm drunk making tinkers to my team. But yeah, how are you, Gabe? You're back in what feels like 24 to 48 hours after the last stream.
And I'll be back in another 24 hours. I'm like Max Headroom for those old enough to understand that reference. You know what I like about this stream is that it's not even noon here in Phoenix on a Thursday, and it feels like just an excuse to get the weekend started a little bit early. So we got our drinks.
I've got my drink. Yeah, cheers. This one says, "Don't drink an FPL; it never ends well."
There you go. and we're about to not pay attention to the glass because, obviously we're smarter than a glass.
That's the philosophy of today's episode. I thought I'd bring that one with me on the cup printed on. Shout out to FPL Merch as well, who makes those cups. And he's going to be giving a trophy for the Net That Whole mini league this season. So I think it's going to potentially look like this one that I showed 3 episodes ago. So it's quite cool. I do have to also show another trophy, because if I don't, I might get hunted down by some of my draft league compatriots. So yeah, I kind of came last in a draft league last year, and I'm doing it tonight after the stream again. So I'm hoping to improve. But I was given this trophy for coming last. It's the loser of the year. And if you look very closely, it's got like stray hairs. It's pretty grotesque. So I won't offend any more of our viewers and get dislikes off the back of it.
It's the Shiva.
It is the Shiva, yeah. The Shiva loser of the year, yeah.
The Shiva loser of the year. And by the sounds of it, you just had that draft again, and you're probably going to be last again. It sounds like you like that ornament in your home.
Oh, no,
you have to get used to it.
I think this draft's worse. I think this draft is shaving your hair off if you come last. So the one tonight is for that trophy. So I'm doing 2. Yeah, I did an official one last night, and it was going really well. I was first pick. I got Salah. And then it timed out for some of my future picks, and I ended up with Smith Rowe and Nketiah, despite already owning multiple Arsenal assets. I've been trying to sell them off as quickly as I can for whatever free agents are available. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to share the screen. If you enjoyed today's show, it's a bit more of an entertaining one. It's maybe not as educational unless it's your team we're roasting. Hopefully you won't get offended. Last year when we did this, I think it was at the end of an episode, like an hour and a half into 2 hours, and by then, we were definitely a few drinks in. And I remember there were some teams that got 1 out of 10. So I really hope someone submitted a 1 out of 10 draft this year. But the template is so much stronger than ever before that I'm going to struggle to keep a straight face and give someone a 1 out of 10, I think. But I'm going to try.
I would say, with the stream named FPL Roast My Team, you're going to get offended. I'm afraid that you might be offended. That's kind of the goal.
You might be. I've seen 1 or 2 teams that I'm definitely going to roast. You know me, I'm a very template manager, so they're going to get rinsed. But it doesn't mean it's the wrong way to play. I think I preface all of this with play your own game. Don't play someone else's management style if that's not how you play FPL. Enjoy the game. And the key thing I've always found works for me is try to stick to your style. Because if you're hopping between different styles, aggressive and passive throughout the season, it's going to inevitably kind of blow up in your face. You'll be patient at the wrong time, aggressive at the wrong time. Just stick to the one strategy that you enjoy playing. So yeah, if you do enjoy the show, even if you get roasted, please obviously leave a like. It really does help us, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. So this stream is a big thank you to the haulers for helping us get to 2K subs. I'm going to give a quick shout out to some of the guys who've been waiting patiently in the live chat before we go. So we've got Blue Danube Joe this time. He's changed it to stop confusing us. You're right. Yeah. Good evening. There's definitely going to be a team similar to yours, Joe. Don't worry. Someone else said they didn't submit a team because they saw both their drafts already submitted by other people. So that's our template this season.
That's how strong the template is. Yeah.
We got Sagnik Sadukan. Good to see you. FPL Dallas. Nice to see you live after a while, I think.
From
Darunan
Albania,
Run. Oh, he's in
Dallas,
Albania. Wow. Okay.
I think.
Damn. He needs to hurry up and get back to Texas so he can hold his FPL meets. He's now a chapter lead for one of the cities in Texas. So yeah, get back out of Albania as fast as you can, mate. Season's beginning. It's time to get back home. We got is it? I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Do let us know if it's wrong. Darunan Rungian. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Akib is here as well supporting. We got Mike Halpin, one of our haulers. Good to see you, mate. And thanks for coming on to the Arsenal stream as well. Yo to homeless guy. I love his profile picture. That cheeky grin on the avatar just makes my day. And flying pigs evening. We'll give a shout out to everyone as you come in. But main thing I'm going to say is we're going to give a lot of reviews, but I'd love the people in the live chat to play along. So every time I put a draft up on the screen, I want you guys all to give your score out of 10 as well. I'd love to see how everyone's different styles approaches this. Good to see Audrey and Brendan as well. Hopefully I pronounced that one right too. Audrey. Yeah, Audrey. But then Sea Hunt. Yeah, less than 24 hours to go, man. This is it. We're into the big time. So, yeah, well, I think we've just hit 25, 26 members on YouTube, which is great. I remember when we got our first one back in March, April. It was it felt like it was a huge milestone. And then when we got to double digits, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to start with the Discord questions from the YouTube members, so the haulers and the super haulers. And we're going to go through the questions they submitted actually in the YouTube questions channel. And then I've got the Twitter thread open as well. So I will give you guys some stuff. If you want to get your team in, there's still time. Go to my at FPL Nima Twitter, leave a screenshot of your team, and I'll make sure I refresh the page before we look at the Twitter draft so that we can also rate your team. But yeah, let's so yeah, this is the Discord, obviously. So we've got a lot of the haulers who become YouTube members. For podcast listeners as well, we've added Patreon because some of them don't use YouTube. And essentially, if you become a member and support the channel, help us cover our costs and grow the channel, you get access like a bit more of a closer community of a small number of us and regular access with all three of us and Mariner, who's not here. You will see that there's a lot of data channels that Mariner's been spending like 2 weeks just dumping data in. Like this kind of goalkeeper section, it's given me many sleepless nights trying to digest just the sheer amount of data he dumped into that one. He also says, if you require particular metrics, please let me know. So yeah, Mariner's been busy at work, kind of sharing data a few days in advance of streams and just dropping everything in here. But you can use the Q&A to ask questions. But yeah, like it's been a great fun, like lots of the community in there now. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, let's get started on the roast. So we've got FPL teacher Lucian, who's been on here as a guest before. So I'll let you read out his team. Actually, we don't need to read them out because we're not going to put this on podcast format. So right. Yeah, we're not going to need to worry about podcast format. So I think we just kind of do 1 to 2 minutes max each team. Do you want to start with the scores? Do you want to have a quick look at it and everyone in the live chat, start dropping your scores out of 10 as you see these now.
Just looking.
I think it's pretty strong. There is a Mahrez pick in there, but
yeah, that's going to drag the score down for me. That Mahrez pick, because one, obviously the risk, right? But two, he was just trash in the community shield. He was absolute garbage. So even if he's not showing form and his expected minutes are low, that I think this drops to a 7. I don't 7 because of Mahrez. It's just like that risk is unnecessary. You could go with Foden, who did look good. He has maybe equal risk, but did look good when he came on. And the idea is having him for Bournemouth anyway.
Yeah, no, I think when you get to sub 24 hours before deadline, there's only one player every season that creeps into all our thoughts, and it is Riyad Mahrez, the wonder boy. So I can see how he's ended up here today. But I really like this team, actually. I've not seen many 3-5-2s. I think the most popular formations I've seen so far are kind of 4-4-2 and 5-3-2. So it is an interesting take. He's taken the budget options of all of them, basically. Neto, Bailey, and Martinelli. He's got them all in. I like the Kane captaincy. I think that's strong. It's bullish. If Ward doesn't start, because he might not be back fit, I guess you get Sanchez anyway, and they rotate well, and Sanchez's other bad games. I would probably still... I don't want to give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.5. I do really like this. I think like from my point of view, it's kind of he's left that third Arsenal spot open. There's an opportunity for him to potentially, when they play Bournemouth in game week 3, to go and triple up on the attack instead of getting one of the defenders. That could be an exciting punt in the future. Like Mahrez could become Saka if he flops. So I think there's exit routes from Mahrez at least, and there's some good options here. The negative though is that he needs kind of all of Martinelli, Bailey, and Neto to do well, because like normally if one of them didn't, you go to the other, and he has all three. Like I guess there's Aronson and maybe a handful of others you could move to, but there aren't many more left at that kind of price point. It's very slim picking. So I'll give that a 7.5. I think in the chat they're giving it between 7 and 8. There is a 6 from Dallas because there's no. He says there's no Whistler in there, but I will move on from that. So I think he didn't get roasted too bad.
So one thing, I was having a chat with Libero FPL on Twitter, and he's saying that so last season Conte actually lost to Southampton at home because Southampton, they sat in a really deep block. It was similar when Spurs faced Wolves. They sat in a deep block, and Wolves and Spurs couldn't break them down. We've seen the comments from Conte today that Perisic is. I mean, if we're being objective, I think he's unlikely to start. He may get minutes, but he's unlikely to start the season. He doesn't feel that he's ready. So will they still struggle to break down that deep block? I don't see the need to go for Kane captaincy game week 1. There's risk there. I think. You have Salah. Stick it on Salah.
So I just want to say, so I just want to say, actually, the goal scorer odds have Haaland to score at a higher percentage than Kane this weekend. Make of that what you will, people. Especially if your plan is to then sell Kane. I think if you're gonna have Kane and sell him in game week 2, like I would only do it if you are captaining Kane, probably. So that would be my caveat. If you're gonna have Kane and you're not even captaining him, and then you're selling him with a transfer, maybe not. But I guess if you've got him, you've got to go all in. So perhaps there is some merit to that thought. But yeah, I'm not really convinced by Planger there on his bench. There's definitely other 4.5 strikers that are more likely, I think, to do well. But maybe he just likes the color of the kit. So William, he's another one of our haulers. He has 0.5 in the bank. He has no Spurs. He has that 5-3-2 I was talking about. He's gone for the Iverson Ward double up, the 8 million goalkeeper pairing. For me, that's just maybe a first wildcard situation. So that immediately scares me off a bit because I worry, like, if you go for them, I know they've said they're not going to buy a goalkeeper, but imagine before game week 2 they do, you're a bit stuffed there. So I don't think I'd risk it. But like, it's nice to have 0.5 in the bank, but Ward and Sanchez rotate very well, and perhaps that's the route to go. I love his back line. He's got Mount. I like the Chelsea attack. I think their fixtures are good. They're underrepresented at the moment. Pretty much template from there. He does have 2 4.5 mids. So, there is obviously that. Like, the Silva's supposed to be coming back from injury and like be more likely to be a star at Brentford this year, but only really Andrea so far is a proven starter on his bench. So that kind of worries me. Like, the bench is very weak for the sake of that 0.5. Yeah, so I think as much as I love the back line, the goalkeepers and the bench, that kind of pushes me towards more of a 6.5 out of 10. I'm sorry to say it. The goalkeeper really brings it down at least 1 point for me.
You said 6.5?
Yeah, 6.5.
I think this one has an idea, but it doesn't really come through. I'll give it a 6 because I don't see why Mount would be the 8 million midfield choice. Based on what we know, right? I can see based on
without Martinelli,
or whatever.
Without Martinelli, I would be thinking like I'd be going Saka here all day. For me, you've got the double up in defense, so you can't get Diaz. Saka would be my pick. The only reason I don't have Saka is because I already have Martinelli and Jesus, and I've got the triple. So I've got Mount in one of my drafts right now, and he's only there because I don't want Saka because it will be triple attack too early, and I can't get Diaz. Mount's a great pick, I think, but I'm a little bit put off of Chelsea at the moment. I feel like you could almost, like, one of my thoughts has been to maybe do go with like a Foden to start the season, and if it goes wrong, like move to a Mount by about game week 3. So I do like having an 8 million mid, but it's just, I don't know. Like, I guess his defense will generally always play, right? So
it's a great defense.
It's great. It's incredible.
Defense is on point, but the goalkeepers are a trap. What happens in game week 2 when Leicester sign a goalkeeper? like,
yeah, that worries me. Like and their fixtures are horrendous. Like they play like 3 of the top 6 in the first 5 weeks or something. Like it's not for me.
Don't
I
fall for
think
that goalkeeper trap, in my opinion.
yeah, I don't think so. Nehal has 1 million in the bank.
That's nice.
This is interesting. Yeah, he's got a bit of coverage everywhere. He actually has both Bailey and Neto. I think the problem for me there is like I don't want to have to rotate them. I want to either play both of them or just have one of them and play them every week.
Well, the thing is, the fixtures line up. You want to play them the first 2 game weeks, but you want to play both of them the first 2 game weeks, and then the third game week you don't want to play either one of them. So I would actually, I would drop Neto, I guess.
I think it's strong though. I do think it's strong. I like the goalkeeper. I like the back line. I think Trippier is a solid pick, but I don't think their fixtures between 2 and 5 are actually any good. I think their only good fixture in the first 5 is Forest. So yeah, I don't know if I personally go there. Ramsdale's probably a better pick overall from the Arsenal defense, but Trippier could be like Gabriel and Ramsdale could be like a 4.5. I'm a bit surprised he's gone for Iverson over Ward as the one of the 2 to have, because like Ward seems to be the one that will likely be first pick and it's his place to lose. So that's a thought there. Generally, I like the team. I think this one, like the actual 11 is very strong. The fact that it can have a 5.5 mid on the bench, I'm going to go as high as an 8 for this one. So far, it's my favorite one.
I mean, yeah, I think I'd agree with you. I'd go 7.5 on this one. And game week 1, I'm of the camp that I believe Perisic will not start game week 1. But I do think he'll get minutes. Given that, I would probably start Neto over Perisic game week 1. But it's nice to have that, like to have that kind of caliber of a player there in there, just in case a player doesn't start. So you could be playing.
What do you give this out of 10? Nehal, what do you give this out of 10? Because you're in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, because the first 2 game weeks, he could be playing both Neto and Bailey, right? And that's when you want those 2, and just bench Perisic, bench him.
But in that scenario, I think I would personally make Trippier into Neco Williams and have another 1 million in the bank, and then he has like 2 million that he can play with to jump on a big asset. So if Neto or Bailey goes wrong, he can move up to a much more exciting midfielder. I think, like if a Rashford emerges or Grealish emerges, he could get from Neto or Bailey to those players with 2 million in the bank. And I would rather just have both Neto and Bailey play and go for that 4-4-2 and make Trippier a budget option. The thinking there is obviously because the fact that there is a 4 million playing defender, it just feels like it's too much value for me to go for a back 5 personally. But I understand why back 5s are popular.
But then he would be playing Neco Williams every week, right? For the first couple game weeks.
No. So I would bench him for Neto. I mean, so as in like,
but Perisic won't start. That's
so that's an opinion, right? So I watched the video of the quote, and I think this is why pressers need to be. Sometimes when you read them, it's a bit difficult to read. Like in brackets, it said Conte laughs, and I was like, what kind of laugh is it? what is it? An evil maniacal laugh like Mariner? Like what kind of laugh is this shit? So I went and watched the clip. And it was more of like a laugh of like, why would I tell my opponent 2 days before who I'm going to have? It was like kind of like and I think the quote as well, like you could read it differently. You could read it as like, well, yeah, I am going to keep giving him minutes because I need him ready for Chelsea. So it's kind of like, maybe he starts, but he gets sub under 60 minutes and it's a 1-pointer. Maybe he comes on for the last 30. It could be a trap, as you say, like, but I think it's just as likely he starts. Like, I don't think it's as kind of like predetermined he doesn't. Doherty's a bit more risky. I've seen drafts with both of them. Now that's a bit much for me, both Perisic and Doherty.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go down to Neco Williams and then you're banking on that Perisic start, and if you're saying it's 50-50, then all of a sudden it's.
But I think he'll get minutes either way, right? So the way I see this is that Perisic is the kind of player. I think Late Riser said this, where like you're gonna have to take some 1-pointers with the 15 or 21 pointers. So if you're the type of person who, like me, doesn't like that, I would avoid. But some people, like, they live for that thrill. It's like the Reece James style of, 0-0-1, 18. That's what you're getting with Perisic. So, like, he could come off the bench and still get 9 points with a goal, but he could
why not
just sub off for 1 point.
Why not just bring Reece James in then? If he is that kind of player,
and he's got the money in the bank, and he's got the money. Yeah,
Just
so
start
for
with
me, I
James and
think
go
I
to
would go for
Perisic when
James.
after Perisic starts one game, and you go to Perisic, or after
Yeah,
because he's going to
because I
start, and you
don't
go
like
from
game
James
week
to
2. Yeah,
Perisic.
I don't like game week 2 at all. So for me, the fact that he could get limited minutes in the first week and then he has Chelsea, that's enough for me to see. You've got 1 million in the bank, right? Like I would maybe start with James and then
Yeah.
move down to Perisic, or we might see that Doherty's good value if he is that nailed player on the right wing back position. But yeah, I still give this an 8 out of 10. I do really like it. I think with a small tinker here and there, it could go. He made a point just before we move on that Iverson's got the lower ownership, so he's gone there to avoid a price drop. I don't think Ward has been picked up by like many people. I don't think the casuals even know about the double 4 million goalkeepers. I know they're more well informed than previous years, but I don't think Ward's ownership is so high that like he's going to drop if he blanks. Like it would be wild for people to be selling their 4 million goalkeeper 1 week into FPL when City then play Bournemouth in game week 2. But I guess some people are nuts, right? Like we've seen it every week. Transfer trends will be back, and we will see some nutters there.
We'll see the madness,
especially the first few weeks before the international break when they quit, because they inevitably quit. But for those first few weeks, that price market is volatile as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, all right, we're on to Scotty's team. This one is a 4-4-2, something that I like to call. He's gone for Grealish as his punt. He does have Doherty in there. I don't know if this was before the news. He's got Mitrovic and he's benched him. It's a bold pick. I'm not quite sure who he's going to be rotating Mitrovic in for out of that team, because maybe from game week 3 onwards, like when he wants to then bench certain players like Bailey, maybe. But I just think that's a lot to put on your bench striker. And I can't see many weeks you're going to rotate him in for any of the backline. I'd probably downgrade him and spend a little bit more money to improve Doherty personally. At the 5 million price point, I'd probably even look at like Walker just for the first few weeks. Personally, I really like the City defense, and
yeah, he already has
that's only if he removes Grealish. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so no, I like Grealish. It's something about Mitrovic
For the record,
makes me
I
give
don't
this.
I don't like Walker at all. I think it's a terrible pick. It's just, he was shit in the Community Shield. Stones can play right back. Super prone to rotation.
Cancelo can play right back. Ake
He
could
can
play
do
left back.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things that can happen. So I think Walker's terrible. But yeah, I agree with you. But that's also like, look, we're directing. Whose draft is this again? Scotty, we're directing Scotty towards the template, right? We're saying, look, like Mitrovic is a differential pick for him. I'm sure he likes him for a reason. You know, I've heard people think like, look, Liverpool could concede. It's conceivable that Liverpool will concede, and if they do concede, it's going to be Mitrovic most likely. So I guess I understand the look towards that differential. I just have an issue with Doherty, right? Doherty, that's 4-5. That's a 4-5 spot.
5.
That's a 5 million. I mean,
well, after what Conte said, like it sounded like Perisic probably starts, personally speaking, but Doherty sounded like he is not going to start that, and it also sounded like he has 3 right wing backs.
And there are so many 5 million defenders that you could get. There are a bunch of them. You could go Dean, you could go Cash, you could go. I mean, there are all sorts of different directions you could go. So I think that's just, I would just like nitpick the Doherty pick. But
I think for me the problem is like, if I had someone at the price point of Mitrovic, I would want to play them every week, not bench them, because you don't know what week his points are going to come. He's priced at that for that amount for a reason. It's like Tony last year. He eventually actually got quite good amount of returns. Like I think he has similar number of goals in the season to Harry Kane. So, you know, like I wouldn't be benching someone at that price point that he is every week. Or I know it's Liverpool, but the other thing is, did he say he had any money in the bank? No, he didn't. I was going to say, because I still really like Perisic, and in the chat, I'm just going to put up one of the comments from one of the haulers. I'm on the wrong screen, no wonder. Yeah, so to put my proper mic on, I've had to get rid of something else, and now I don't seem to be able to. Oh, my mouse is in the wrong place. That's why. Yeah, so I'm going to put up this comment because I think it's a really good comment from Jonathan Maloney. So yeah, like obviously we don't want to be booking in transfers, and if you think Perisic is a good long-term pick, which I think he is, you can kind of just go with him from the start. Whether he starts that first game or not isn't really important, because you're unlikely to want to be moving. So like doing like that James to Perisic move we were talking about, it might not be the most kind of upside chasing move out there when other options emerge in other positions. So No, I agree with that. I like Perisic for what it's worth. I just don't really like Doherty personally after the presser. That's kind of my issue there. But so let's go to I'll just give a score for Scotty. So I'll give Scotty. I really like the Grealish pick. It's Doherty that bothers me. Like for me, again in this situation, I would maybe make Doherty like a 4.5 mid, put him on the bench, and upgrade Mitrovic and play whoever he upgrades him to every week. Like even a Wilson, like just someone else. It's a Mitrovic, but if it has to be Mitrovic, then I'd rather play him and downgrade Doherty and like just not have him there in the lineup. But
well, for me, I'm not really a fan of the Grealish pick, but I get it. So I'll be neutral on that one. I think the Doherty pick is insane. So that drops it back like 4 points or something like that.
And look at the screenshot, by the way. The screenshot has a timestamp. It's after the goddamn press conference. So it is after we've been told.
5 points. So it's 5 points back for the Doherty pick.
Yeah, so you knew Doherty was like not going to play potentially, and still went.
But here's what the thing is. I respect the Mitrovic pick. I respect that Mitrovic differential. Not many people are going there. And
what is the lowest score so far, though? Right, a 5 out of 10. I'll give him a because I love the
no. But I'll bump it up for Mitrovic and give it a 7.
I'll give him a 6 just because I think Mitrovic, that slot should be playing. I'd love this to be a 3-4-3 team. I would really like that to be. So Mr. Twister, 0.5 million in the bank, a 5-3-2. He's gone very bold. He's done the Andy Martin and Rubber Ducky, I think we call this one, the Kane and De Bruyne instead of the Salah and Haaland.
Is this one timestamp? This came later, so there's Doherty again. So starting
this
with a
one
5.
is 438. What's he said? That's Martinelli on the bench in Gameweek 1. Yeah, yeah, like I would just like if he wants Doherty, I would just play Martinelli and like start Doherty from Game Week 3 onwards and hope that he does have that right wing back spot. It does not sound like Doherty starts, and with that kind of feedback as well that we had earlier about like not booking transfers, if you want Doherty and you're convinced he'll have that right wing back spot, start with him, but bench him. Like it doesn't sound like he's starting him. I love this De Bruyne and Kane move. I think for me, I want to one thing I want to put out there is I'm not going to necessarily be rating these teams based on like the individual picks, but the structures and the flexibility to move to assets that might emerge. So for me, like I want to see 2 premiums. I don't like 3 premiums. I don't like 1 premium. I want captaincy options. The fact that there are captaincy options here, De Bruyne in Game Week 2, Kane in Game Week 1. I think Kane probably has a better Game Week 3 than Salah does anyway. So overall, I think he's got the 2 premiums. He's got that covered. He's got the captaincy covered. So yes, it's a bit riskier. It's a bit more punty. But there's nothing wrong with going against a template as long as you can, within 1 or 2 moves, go the correct way if things go really wrong for you. So there's nothing wrong with this. And apart from the benching of Martinelli, which just philosophically I can't agree with as a gooner, especially in the few weeks that he might be a nailed-on starter with Smith Rowe guaranteed out.
Doherty over Martinelli. That's
kind of unforgivable.
That's fucking unforgivable. Fuck
so
that
for that, Mr. Twister, I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna have to because
he says he says he didn't see the pressers yet.
Okay, fine.
Benching Doherty for Martinelli.
Right,
okay.
So if he does that, then I'll go back up to at least, like I'd say, I give this like a 7 to 7.5. That's because I'm risk averse. If I like to be more upside chasing, I would be giving this like a 9 out of 10. Because if you don't really care about Salah and Haaland from an ownership perspective, and you think that Kane and De Bruyne will outscore them for the first 4 weeks, this is an easy 9 out of 10 if that's the style of manager you are. But the style of manager I am, I can only go as high as 7.5.
I'm gonna beg to differ there. Could you put that? Could you put it back up?
Oh yeah, let me put it back up. Yeah.
So you don't have 3 Liverpool. That's just insane. Well, why have Mount over Luis Diaz? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Just throw Luis Diaz in there against Fulham. It's a no brainer. So I really have a strong opposition to that. Melia in goal. Don't choose the goalkeeper from the worst defense, please. Choose somebody else. Choose Raya. Choose anybody else.
But Analytics FC love him, right? Because he gets save points. He has good fixtures.
Yeah, but we don't. I don't play that game. He gets save points. I mean, sure, he misses a lot of saves that he should make. So, I mean, I don't see the benefit in
They got the new defender, right? They got Christensen. Like maybe they'll be tighter at the back.
At least Raya makes passes, so he has more of a chance of some bonus. because a lot of the creativity in Brentford actually goes to the back, and his pass completion is actually quite high. So I mean, at least give yourself a chance on that front. Melia is going to sit and maybe get save points, or maybe just concede 8. So I don't understand that. Doherty, the Doherty pick, you know, you could, if you don't have anything in the bank, you could go down to a 4-5. And I just think there are better 5 million picks instead of getting Doherty, who's already injured, who has an injury history, and then you sit him on the bench, and then who knows what's going to happen, or when he's going to come on, or if. So I'm gonna give this one a 6.
I might go back down. Yeah,
and it's not because Mo Salah. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I love the De Bruyne pick. I love that De Bruyne pick is amazing. I respect that pick. But
no, I'll go back down to 7 from 7.5 because of Meslier. I bumped it up once I heard Martinelli was going to start, but yeah, no, I can't let Meslier slide.
No,
I just can't do it. We'll do the last one from Discord from the YouTube members, and then we'll go to the Twitter ones that have been submitted. We probably did not spend 1 to 2 minutes on these, but obviously these guys support us, and we want to make sure we give them as much love as we can for their support to help us. We've been going for nearly 2 years, and like we definitely spend a lot of money running the channel. We literally run at a loss through the love of the game, but it's nice that they're here to support us and are willing to help us at least cover our hosting fees one day, so that instead of getting paid out every 6 months by Google, maybe the dream is alive that we can actually get paid out monthly and cover the monthly costs. And any profit we make from the memberships, we will 100% be putting into obviously growing the content and making better YouTube content going forward. So yeah, I wasn't sure where Christensen played. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, that's
but he will, like, even in midfield, he's there to block like to fill some serious gaps that were there last season. So he will still have a defensive impact, I think. Just a side note, one of the reasons, like those of you on like a Bailey or a Neto or something like that, I'd keep my eye on Aronson. I think I might bring him in game week 3. It's not a plan to, but that's an idea that's on my watch list. I think he'll be the talisman for the team.
He was in my draft pick quite early on last night. I just thought I'd go for some fun picks. I've got Mount at the moment, and I have like an Arsenal defender for 5 mil, and I'm currently toying with just losing the 8 million slot altogether, and I could go down to like a Aronson or Leon Bailey and like upgrade to get like James, get Ramsdale in goal, have some money in the bank. I could actually leave enough money in the bank that any one of, let's say, Bailey, Aronson, whichever I have, Neto and Martinelli, any of those 3 could go up to an 8.5 mil mid once I know which one I want in game week 3. I think people say don't have an 8 mil mid is crazy, but I don't know which one I want. So like I could just strengthen the rest of my team and have some money lying about. Like the 11 I can field with 2 mil in the bank does not look that much worse than the one
you don't know which one you want, so you're gonna rid yourself of making the decision and get rid of that price point altogether. Nice one. You're gonna run away from
just get rid of them.
I don't want to make a decision. You know what you should do actually at the last one? You should put your current draft up there, since you're not going to be on the stream tomorrow. Since you can't be on the stream tomorrow. I'll do my team
review.
Yeah, we'll do yours and we'll roast you at the end.
All right, so we'll do FPL CP as the last one. So he's talking about Alvarez a lot, because if he doesn't include him, he might get in trouble. But he might be downgraded, and Perisic might come in instead.
This is Craig right here.
So what do you think here? So this is definitely quite exciting. Like Alvarez is there and he's like starting. The bench is 2 4.5 mil mids and Neco Williams with Alvarez starting. It kind of scares me. The 11 looks solid. I can imagine most of them always at least subbing on if they don't start. Alvarez, I think he's more ready than people realize. They keep saying he's more for the future, but he looked pretty sharp to me in the Community Shield. Like, I don't think he's going to be taking a long time to be stealing minutes from Mahrez.
Alvarez is a better player than Darwin Nunez. I want to say that right now. So
I'm going to come back and clip this for the end of the season, for better or for worse. Yeah.
No, but here, his only City player is Alvarez.
No City defense, that scares me a bit. Yeah.
I love you, Craig. And I was super impressed with Alvarez as well, but he's not going to start. How much is the Silva's 4.5?
4.5, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. You got to do something about Alvarez there and mix it around. Other than that, it's it's pretty template. But you got to have some City. You got to have
No,
more
I'm
City.
going to go brutal on this one. This is my first 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I just don't like the bench. I don't like starting with Alvarez. Like, it's just Kane captain, but
So
like, I don't know.
that's a
Like,
problem. Kane captain is a problem. I've roasted some. We've roasted others for Kane captain. So we roasted Teacher for Kane captain. So we'll do the same here. And I would give it a 4, but Craig put this thing out there with Alvarez as a starter, knowing he would be absolutely eviscerated.
We needed some people to put.
So I'm gonna give him some respect for that and give him +1 and bump it up to a 5.
All right, let's go off the Discord. We'll start to look at the ones that came in on Twitter now. I'm just going to change the screen that I'm sharing, actually. So in the meantime, while I do that, I'm going to play a clip where I humiliate myself. And I hope that in watching me humiliate myself last preseason, if you've been enjoying the show so far, there's like 47, 50 people on the live viewers. We're only on like 20 likes. Please hit that like, help the channel out. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. In the meantime, this was one of the first interviews we ever did on Net That Haul. We had Tom Stevenson, who was like a former #1 Hall of Fame, best ever manager in FPL history. And I came in quite strong and friendly, and there was a bit of a tumbleweed moment. I'll let you guys watch my embarrassment for yourselves. We've not played this video for a long time, but while I play the video, please do smash that like button for my embarrassment. Definitely our most popular member of the Net That Haul crew, and you can definitely be our 5th crewmate now going forwards. Definitely be our 5th crewmate now going forwards. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So, just while we're here as well, guys, so please do continue. Yeah, so please do continue to smash that like button and hit subscribe, please, if you're new. We've got some other clips that I need to re-upload from last season. I've lost it in StreamYard, but there's the one of Nick Triggerlips when Gray scored mid-stream, and that prick Gray as that clip is forever known as. There's been some funny moments. I'm thinking as well, maybe next week or the week after, now that we've hit 2K subs, I might bring back Ali G or Pikachu for one of the streams. So get us to 50 likes today, and I promise that one of my fancy dresses is coming out for certain. So let me share the Twitter questions. I'm going to refresh it as well in case some new ones have come in while we've been on here. So, okay, yeah, I think I've got the right window. Let me bring that over. I might zoom in because I can click on the teams. Cool. So I'm going to refresh it. These ones we're going to go much quicker now. We're up to 60 people. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Leave your scores out of 10 in the live chat for these teams, please. I'd love to see what people scored them. So I'm going to go for Ian Parent first. He's a Sky legend, Sky Fantasy Football Manager. Let's see how good he is at FPL. Cool. So this is his team. It's pretty similar to mine. He does have Walker that you don't like. He's actually got a freemium, his first freemium draft tonight. And he's got Jesus in there. There's no Cancelo. That's kind of, I guess, where the weakness is, and the 2 4 mil goalkeepers. I really like this. I think it's pretty bold. I think all of the players he's picked will play, so he's not going to need to like really rely on the bench. The keepers is a problem. I don't know if he has any money in the bank, but I really like this. I'll give this. Yeah, I think I'm going to give this one like another 7.5. There's just the keepers doesn't let me give it an 8.
I think that's probably the baseline for this because of those the goalkeeper trap that he seems to have fallen in here. I'd also say he fell into the Walker trap. Walker is garbage. He was terrible in the community. So I'm still
considering getting him. You keep saying this, and I'm going to end up buying him tomorrow at Fest when I'm drunk. My God.
You are, yeah. Just to spite me, probably. That's a drum that I continue to pound. I see him being rotated before Ake. What else here? Threemium just doesn't work for me. Yeah, and again, there's the Perisic question mark, and then the only he would have Andreas coming in against Liverpool, which isn't great either. So I'm going to give this a 6.5.
All right. Well, between us, the average is 7, as Jamie Baker says in the chat. So I think that's fair. Mariner's here at 3:20 a.m. in Singapore for his middle of the night stroll to the bathroom.
He says anyone puts Mahrez in -2.
No, we'll keep going. We've got to go through quickly now. We gave the Discord YouTube members a lot of time. So we've got Baker now. We're on to Jamie Baker. He's definitely going to get roasted, I think. Oh no, this wasn't the one you wanted to roast. It just looks similar because the screenshot is from my
because it's from
team
the
tool. Yeah, okay, he's got Almiron. I like him. He's a bold pick. He's obviously benched him in like the one good fixture in the first 5 weeks he has, which a bit iffy for me there personally, mate. That's probably my only hole to pick in your team at this stage. So I'll still give you an 8 out of 10, but yeah, I'm a bit confused by having Almiron and then not playing him. I just wonder if somewhere else you can make a compromise, downgrade someone else, and use that money differently. But
start Almiron over Perisic, and you're good.
Yeah, the thing is, like, for me, I really think Perisic will start, and I don't have him, and I
know
think
you do. That's why I'm gonna keep hitting that nerve every time I see Perisic. I'm gonna say, well, I don't know if he's gonna start. I don't think just to hit that nerve a little bit more.
It's worth saying this is the first and only 99% rated draft I've seen for Gameweek 1 on the My Team tool.
It's not bad. I'm not gonna give it 99%. I'll give it 78%.
7.8 out of 10. Right.
Yeah.
Close enough to my score of 8. Vardy boys 0.5 in the bank. Risky draft. He doesn't have Jesus. He wants him to underperform. Hopefully for the first 2 weeks, drop in price and jump on him. And
he gets a +1 for the money in the bank.
Yeah. No, I agree. What about the fact that there's no Cancelo and it's Walker covering?
I don't mind that so much, actually. The Walker
it is a
covering,
freemium. It is a freemium as well, by the way. I just realized Son sneaking in there.
This is not a bad freemium, I have to say. I like the player choices. I might do something other than Neto, but I get it. I wouldn't really take issue with that. Yeah, the only player I'd take issue with here is Walker, and yeah, I like this draft. I'd give it a 86%.
We're doing percentages now, are we? No, we should go back to the out of 10.
Okay, so 8.6 out of 10.
God.
However you want to hear it, it's cool.
No, I really like this team. I genuinely like it.
It's good.
The only thing I think is missing is Cancelo, but I'm willing to look past that. I'll still give it an 8 out of 10.
So there's this perspective. I forget who I was speaking with. Absurdologist, who's actually on our community team that will be going against you, since you don't know how to make friends. Obviously, from that clip, we know you don't know how to make friends. Our community, Net That Haul community team, is going against you. But the perspective is that Cancelo will, with Holland there, it'll change kind of the way they play, and Cancelo won't get as forward or won't be involved in the creativity as much. It'll be more midfield creativity, linking the play from Cancelo. So I thought that was an interesting take, and I don't know if I believe it or not, but just something to look out for in the first few weeks. So I don't mind a draft without Cancelo as long as you have some City coverage, but I don't think Walker is City coverage.
I'm so immature. I tried to screenshot it when it says 69 live viewers, and by the time I managed it, it says 68. But we move. I give this draft a. I really like it. Yeah, no. I'm sticking to the 8 out of 10. I'd maybe go up to 8.5 because of Son being snuck into there. I think
it's nice.
Like, because I guess you got to look at it as like basically what he's done is like Son and Walker instead of like say an 8 million and like Neco Williams.
But Son and Walker could be De Bruyne and Perisic, right?
Yeah. I think I like that more over Walker. I'm glad that you've come around to preferring Perisic to Walker.
I feel like I've been a little bit harsh on the Perisic lovers today, so I throw them a bone.
So we've got Jasker and Singh, 1 million in the bank, a 5-3-2. This is as template as it comes. Don't know who Lavia is, but apart from that, it's as template as it comes.
I'm sure there are a lot of teams with that name involving that name though.
Yo, for sure. Up to 71 live viewers. Do smash that like and subscribe if you're new. We normally only get this many live viewers when we have a guest like Late Riser or Big Man Bakar on. So it's quite nice that people like to, bathe in the misery of teams being roasted. Because it's definitely not an RMT. It's a roast. It
says a lot about humanity. I think that people just come to see other people be trashed. That's when we get the most viewers.
There's
69 if you wanna hit that.
Yeah, no wonder the Twitter community is all about the beef. It keeps
Yeah.
the lights on in the international break. I tried to do 69 back up to 72. I don't know if anyone wants to dip in and out, but yes, I give this. I shouldn't be asking viewers to leave. I know,
No,
but I've not been drinking on streams for a while, and this reminds me of the good old days.
we're down to 68.
Well, it's working. I'm hoping they now come back in.
You're chasing them away, Nima. Good job.
One at a time. So this one, I really like this team. I'm a 4-4-2 man myself, but I struggle to not give this an 8.5. Damn, all four of them came back at the same time. All right, it will do. Well, I'm gonna fuck the screenshot. I'll just go back to the video on demand and screenshot it because obviously there was a time when it was like that. Cool. Yeah, no, I give this an 8.5. Let's keep going. We'll rattle through these. So
yeah, I give that an 8.5 as well. I like it. Just gets a dip with the Perisic, and then Andreas is the first sub. Not ideal.
So we've got Kieran with a bit of banter, taking a bet with his father, Mini Mariner himself, trying to beat his dad this year.
Interesting. He's using his dad's tactics because he has 0.5 million in the bank. So learning from his dad, the young Padawan.
First premium keeper we've seen tonight, right? 5.5 Allison. He's got Rashford in there as a punt. He's got Kane captain. Doherty, I'm not so hot about. Maybe it's that thing we said before of just play Neto over Doherty with the presser info and keep Doherty for a future week when he's fit. I like this team. It's a bit different. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I still give this like an 8 out of 10. I don't think I'd go up to 8.5. What about you?
You know, you don't have to be nice to Kieran. I think Mariner would actually prefer you not be nice to Kieran. I'm not going to be nice to Kieran right now.
I guess the Rashford pick, the thing is, it was the return of Ronaldo, but then, Martial's out and Rashford could play striker in this game. So it's kind of like...
You're spending 21.5 million on Doherty, Trippier, and Rashford. I have a problem with that.
21% of your budget on those three, yeah.
On those three. That's
a fifth of your budget on 3
good.
out of 11 of your outfield players. Yeah. All right, let's go down to... I'll go to 7. I don't know if you want to go to 5.
So I'm gonna go. Actually, I'll go 6.5 only because he has 0.5 million in the bank. Otherwise, that'd be 5.5
for that. All right, we've got Donny. He missed the memo of putting his team into the Discord as one of our haulers, but let's see. So Perisic out first game. There's been a whole debate down here about that as well. As I say, I'm not convinced he's out the first game. This one, I love this one as well. So FPL Velvet, I keep getting tagged in shouts out with this guy, and they said we should bring him on as a guest to Net That Haul, but he blocked me. And there's only maybe like 2 people who blocked me on Twitter. I've never interacted with them or know who they are, but they are both Spurs fans. So make of that what you will.
I'm sure you insulted him.
No, I've never spoken to the guy. I blocked him back. I like to block blockers so that they can't change their handle and then unblock you in the future and pretend to be your friend.
Well, no, here's the thing. It's just not fair. Why can they see your shit, but you can't see their shit? So like, even the play, I do the same. I block blockers just so we are clear on our relationship, I think.
No, generally I block racist and fake team news. The only other group of people I block is blockers, basically. Yeah. Sounds about right. I'm going to give him his review. So he's got Saka and Jesus. I like that. He doesn't have a second premium, which is a bit like, I guess if he's willing to captain Salah every week, sure. Maybe he's going to captain Cancelo in game week 2. I don't know. But the fact that there's not a second premium for me, I don't know if I could do this to myself personally. Like he says massive at the back, like you could be massive at the back and have 2 premiums. So I'm not convinced, say, Saka over Martinelli is worth then not having like another premium. Watkins is okay for the first few weeks. Not a bad shout. I'll go for a 7 out of 10 here. I really don't like the lack of the second premium personally. I love to have 2 premiums so I can like have options for captaincy personally.
I'm going to say, Donny, I love this draft. I really, really do. I like Watkins as a differential shout for the first couple game weeks. The only thing dragging it down for me is Perisic, because for obvious reasons we've been talking about in the whole stream. We can rename the stream to the Perisic will not start stream. But I'm gonna give this an 8.9, the highest one yet. I think this is my favorite one yet. That is massive at the back. I love that back line except for Perisic. And you have all the players you need to have. That it's great. I like it.
I think for me, it's like he doesn't have any of the cheap mids, right? That's where the money from second premium's gone. So,
but that's also that. So that position always looks super tasty in preseason, but usually only one of those will pop, and we don't know who and we don't know when. Like last season, we had Damari Gray for a while. It was like not on the radar at all, right? So he's gone for more stability. So his back line, other than Perisic, is just absolutely nailed, and they all bang, right? His midfield, he's got the 2.8 millions, nailed players, super important to their teams, and they will get returns. So I think he's gone for less risk with this draft, even though it looks like maybe more risk given the inflexibility of it. But I really like it. I'm gonna bump up to a 9, Donny.
Once he tells me who he's captaining in game week 2, but I'm still sticking to my 7. If he's willing to captain him every week,
just captain Salah. He's in good form. They have good fixtures. It's like last season, no brainer. Just captain Salah. Don't even think about it.
All right, we got to this one. So I'm not on the sofa yet, Brian. FPL Bob is on Twitter. This is a 90% on the rate my team. I'm immediately going to remove 2 points for not putting your bench on here. So that's already an 8 out of 10. I don't trust teams that I don't know what you've done to your bench to fund it. There is no Salah, there is no Jesus, and Darwin is the captain. Ward is the goalkeeper, so we know who the second goalkeeper is. It's starting to really creep back down from 8 out of 10. I will be constructive too, but I'm going to have to go down to I like Sterling, sure, but I just think this is very bold. It's a bit too bold for me. This might have to be my lowest one yet.
Don't worry, I'll be lower than you.
I was going to say 3, but I didn't want to be rude, so I might go for 4 out of 10.
3 is generous. So I'm going to be generous and say 3. Your captain is a player that won't start, that hasn't started. You don't have.
I wouldn't
Salah.
be surprised to see Firmino start. Yeah,
Firmino's going to start. There's no reason why he wouldn't start. He was injured most of last season. That's why he didn't play that much. I think he was only healthy for 10 game weeks or something like that, and he started I think 6 of those or something. Darwin's not going to start yet. You have Sterling in there who, I think Sterling will be good, and I think he will be in many of our teams at some point. But to start with that kind of punt in midfield is super risky. You have Perisic. You've fallen into the goalkeeper trap. There's so much wrong with this. You're captaining a burro that won't start, man. So you get a 3, and that's generous.
For me, I like Sterling, but couldn't Sterling just be Mount here? And couldn't you get a better goalkeeper and upgrade
you could take that logic. You could go Sterling could be Diaz and Darwin could be someone good, and you could just do this for the whole team, right? And just
Sterling could be Salah, Darwin could be Jesus, but then we're just telling him to get templates. So the constructive part is is ballsy. If you're willing to wildcard in game week 2 or 3, if shit goes wrong and half your assets start tanking in price, then fair play. But this is too risky for me. I wouldn't trust the team rating from an algorithm as a reliable source. And that's just for one game week. It's not very high for future game weeks overall. And the fact that I can't see the bench. If I could see your bench, I might have given a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. But it's just the lack of bench does that for me.
If I could see your bench, I might have given a 2. Or what?
So we've got tweet West Ham. Did you say 3 million in the bank? This is the kind of draft I was talking to you about that I might lean towards, but he's without Salah, it's without Haaland. Yeah. So it's got Son, it's got Vardy. Vardy starts well most seasons. No Trent. Yeah, so no Trent, no Salah, no Haaland. I don't know, man. I think at a maximum I could give this draft a 7 out of 10 if I was kind. I'd probably say it's more of a 6 for me, just because we're saying how much value there is in the back line, and only 2 of those positions are being used for premiums, while there's no Salah or Haaland. So it's a 1 premium draft that somehow manages to not have a strong back line. I'm not convinced having both Diaz, Mount, and then Vardy added in makes up for the weak back line and 1 premium for me. So Plus the money's there, like so, like could just be used, like.
Yeah, I think, but I mean, where you do it. He must have plans. He must have plans for there's a reason why he's keeping 3 million in the bank, but he didn't share his plans. So for not sharing the plans, I'll dock 2 points from that. So we're down quite a bit. Trippier could be James at James's ownership. There's no reason not to have James at that 40% ownership.
Have that third premium, yeah.
Yeah, just get him in there. There's no reason not to. Or I get it. I get the Vardy shout. I wouldn't criticize that. But I'll give it a 7.
I got to put this comment up on the screen. What are you saving for Christmas? You heard interest rates were going up, so you kept 3 million in the bank.
Well, I had this idea, like that would be kind of cool if part of the thing was like you could accrue interest on money you have in the bank. So it would be another strategic element to add to the game. Having money in the bank would actually benefit you in some way. I think that would be a nice element to add.
Let's add this one from FPL Black Dragon Dom. So no Jesus, Kane, Haaland, Salah. I like this. Instead of picking one of Kane or Haaland, he's just got rid of Jesus instead. Yeah, that's quite exciting. I think the team overall looks strong. I really like this team, actually. I think it's a bit different. It is a freemium, but 2 premium strikers. He could always move to Jesus if it goes wrong. And equally, if Jesus blanks and drops in price, he could still get to him anyway and downgrade one of the strikers if they don't perform. So overall, I like this. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 personally. It's my favorite freemium I've seen.
I'd say it's my second. I mean, I like this team a lot. I think Trippier over a player like Gabriel is a mistake, to be perfectly honest, with Arsenal's fixtures. Like Gabriel, you can just leave him in there. He has great headed matchups to begin the season. He could get you attacking returns then. So I think that's a mistake, but I like pretty much everything else. I'll give this an 8.7.
Yeah, I think for me, it's an easy change. Like Trippier's first game is great. I don't rate the ones after that. He doesn't.
This is his version 3 draft, by the way.
But if this had Gabriel, but his other 2 versions will be submitted by others, so he'll know what they got scored too. Yeah. Because he said you can only submit 1, but 2 other people submitted his other 2 teams. So yeah, I think if Trippier was Gabriel, because I think over the first 8 weeks, like Arsenal's defensive FPL is fantastic. They only played one of the top 6 from last year. That would make me like this team a lot more. But I still give it a very strong score. We've got Colm. The only thing he might change is Forster to Ward. I'm not going to change any scoring for that move, but so that stays the same. He's starting Mitrovic. He's doing what we're saying. He's taking the punt, but he's just playing him every week. He's also got Trossard. He does have Vardy. He has 2 premiums, Salah and Kane. He's got both Gabriel and Trippier, so no third premium defender, but he has Dunk waiting on the bench to rotate with Trippier, I assume. So 2 4.5 mids. This is a very different team. He's right. This is fun. This seems like a very fun team. Triple Brighton, I've definitely not seen that. I've 100% not seen that. I don't know what you think. I like this team, but it's a bit too out there for me personally. Like, do you plan to make Kane into Haaland in game week 2? I don't know. Do you want to keep Kane indefinitely? There's a few things about it that just put me off, like the not using the third Liverpool spot. Maybe he wants to wait to decide between like Robbo, Diaz, and Nunes. Like that's
not using the third Arsenal spot with those fixtures.
Yeah, so I think the template player I am, I'd struggle to go above 6.5 out of 10 personally. Like having to start Mitrovic, even though he might be a nice pick long term at home to Liverpool, it's not for me. So
I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, this team is not for me either, but this team commands respect for me. I would do something. I mean, I think Trippier is fine. I think people overrate Trippier in terms of his attacking potential. I don't think he's going to get the attacking returns that people expect. He will get some, but not what people expect. So I would prefer to triple up maybe on the Arsenal there and go Zinchenko or drop to a 4-5 and then move Sanchez up to Ramsdale or something like that. I think Trossard is a bad pick. He scored a hat trick from wing back, but he's playing reverse out of position. So if you're expecting those kinds of returns from wing backs all the time, I think it's just a little bit of a foolish expectation. I love Dunk. Dunk is just a really nice value. I don't know. I have a lot of respect for this team. I have a lot of time for this team. I'm going to give it an 8.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That is solid. So we've got Akib's team now. We're coming up to, I think I'm going to have to be going pretty soon. I was meant to go 10 minutes ago. So we're going to start going very fast now.
Akib is telling us to stop the Mitrovic shootout.
All right. So these ones are all going to be 30 seconds now. I'm just going to give a score out of 10. One thing you like, one thing you don't. Go for it.
Okay. Akib, I'm taking this in really quickly. Quite the template team. I like it. You're staying with the pack. Bailey and Neto starting, I think is cool. But you have Cash on the bench against Bournemouth away. That's a little bit unforgivable. Maybe drop either Bailey or I'm not sure about there. I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10 because Cash is on the bench, and I don't like Sanchez.
Yeah, I agree with Big Man Bakar. I think the Villa defense as well, they're being a bit overrated personally. Their fixtures are pretty bad after the first 3. If you're not going to play them in those first 3, I don't see the point in having them personally. I will go for a 7 out of 10. Go to FPL Dallas. Wissa comes in for Perisic. Perisic doesn't play. So I don't think Perisic is going to stay on the bench if he doesn't play. He will come off the bench. So yeah, I think he's either starting or he's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
He thinks Wissa rotates very well with Leon Bailey from Gameweek 1 to 8. Yeah, I've got nothing wrong with Wissa over Neto overall. He does have Bailey to play for the first 3 weeks. Okay, so give this a quick rating. Just taking it in. The thing is, so many of the teams are so similar, bar 2-3 positions, that like most of them are ending up a 7.5, bar the rogue 2-3 out of 10 that we saw. But yeah, I think this is another like 7 for me.
I'll give it an 8. It's just
all right.
Bench Perisic, start Wissa. It's a solid team.
We've got Darren and Rungian. So Pope and Trippier, I'm not convinced by that double up after the first week personally. Right. Sancho is back from his illness, and obviously Ronaldo might not start, and Martial is missing, but still, Dean's going to be playing every week in this team potentially. Janssen, we did see he had great numbers in the metrics and that Mariner does, but there's been talk of like potentially he's not necessarily a nailed on starter and he could be rotated in changes of formation. So for the double Newcastle defense, no City player that actually starts, I'm unfortunately going to have to go for a 6 out of 10 here at best.
Yeah, you're going to quit playing FPL after game week 2 because you have no City except for Delap, and Delap is taking a City spot, so I'm going to go with 5.5.
Yeah, the fact that it's blocking a spot is not ideal for me. Scott, FPL Kookaburra, no Chelsea or Spurs makes him nervous. Okay, so who do we have here? We have Trippier. Yeah, I don't mind this. Diaz instead of Robbo. Yeah, no, this is a solid team overall, I think. Patterson instead of Neco Williams. Hope that Ward starts, rotate him with Sanchez, similar to what I have now. Yeah, I think I wasn't convinced by what I saw from Diaz in the Community Shield. Like, I do still prefer Robbo, but, like, Trippier could be Robbo for 2 mil, and Diaz could be, like, one of those punts we were talking about, like Aronson or anyone else who's 6 mil and below. So there is Neto as well for 2.5 million less. I think if he made those changes, I'd go up to an 8 out of 10. At this point, I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. I don't mind it. I'll give it a 7.5. I like some of these picks. The Ward Sanchez combination is fine. I find it interesting the people that are going for Patterson over Nico Williams. I don't think it's a bad shout. Patterson is more attacking than I think a lot of people give him credit for. So, and seems to be nailed. To be perfectly honest,
Coleman's legs falling off, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. He's he'll be playing. He won't be. I don't think he'll be playing much as long as Patterson continues that
Yeah,
form.
like I do like the double 8 mil mids. I like Saka as a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could go up to an 8. So not NK47, 5-3-2, 4-4-2 for starting this season. So this is the 4-4-2 draft. Trent, Robert, Cancelo, Perisic, Salah, Martinelli, Mount Bailey is very close to my team. I think the only difference is I have a 5 mil defender instead of Perisic, and I have Neto instead of Bailey. And then, like, I think basically our team is the same. So I'll give you an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. Again, the Perisic thing there. No Arsenal defensive coverage. You're not tripled up on Arsenal, but you do. Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
Sounds good to me. John Maloney, another 4-4-2, Sun captain. Haaland's in the team as well for game week 2. Diaz is there. No Salah. It's the first double defense with Diaz I've seen. I don't hate this. I don't hate this,
Son
but I can
Holland.
only give it a 7 out of 10.
I don't hate it either. It's it's pretty template other than the Son for Salah. That's really the only difference. So I mean, obviously I don't agree, but yeah, I'll give it a 7.5, 7.5.
Frodo Baggins, I love that. FPL Frodo B, 5-3-2. Okay. See, a lot of these teams are the same, so I'm just going to skip over like giving feedback because they've been given the same feedback in last
Yep,
RMTs.
we've basically covered this team
like 4 times, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll still give it a number, but I'm not going to delve deeper into that. I'll give it a solid 8. If Perisic was a 4th mid, I might go up to 9.
If Perisic would start, I'd go up to 9. I'll give it a 7.5, 7.5.
Fred the King. Don't know whether to swap Saka and Walker for Robertson and Martinelli. See, that's tough. I do think I prefer Robertson and Martinelli between those. I don't mind the Grealish pick. I think overall this team, I would happily give it a 8 out of 10. With Robertson, Martinelli, I might go up to 8.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume you're gonna do that switch and go to 8.5 as well.
Morgan Lindsay, I have a punt on Dean before dropping to Neco Williams or finding another 5-0 defender. Mendy in goal. First Mendy we've seen. Double Chelsea defense. Not for me, but I can see why you do that with the value there. Pretty template generally other than that. Gabriel's there as well, okay. And then I guess if you go down to Neco Williams, you rotate Gabriel in. I'll give this an 8.
Let's see. I like this team. Mendy in there. You have Gabriel on the bench. I get it away to Palace. Yeah, I'll give this an 8.7. It's a nice team.
All right, there's quite a few more left. I need to go back to the Discord because a few of the members have dropped some, I think. I'm gonna, because I am literally starting a draft in a few minutes, and I need to be on a Zoom call for it, and I need to eat dinner before that. So I'm just gonna literally give a score now and no context because we would have probably given feedback on every player that's in these screenshots apart from Mobuemo up until now. So not for me. I'd probably still try to get Tony in there over Mobuemo if you're going to go that way. I like it, yeah. Salah, De Bruyne, first double premium mid that we've seen. Don't like the goalkeepers. I'll go 6.5 out of 10.
I like the double premium mids and just saying like fuck the structure. I like Mbeumo as a pick. I like his initial fixtures to start the season. Castagna on the bench is really interesting. It nailed, and he should be super attacking. Walker's a problem. Goalkeeper trap. 7.5.
Remember, guys, if we get to 50 likes, I'll put on the Pikachu or Ali G outfits in the next stream. So we're almost there. So help us get there. Perisic news, he made some changes. I don't know what his starting 11 is, but I guess we can guess with Williams, Andreas, and Archer. I will give this team a solid 8.5 out of 10.
James Williams going in.
Maybe a 9 because of Edison.
This is a solid team. Huh? 4-4-2
It's solid.
9. Solid 9.
Yeah, that's
really
solid.
nice
That's
team.
probably one of the best teams we've seen.
Yep.
No 8 million mid. Take Jesus out to plug Saka. No, I think I'd keep Jesus and get to your 8 mil mid with 2 transfers later on. You got free premium, so you're always going to have that hole. I like the team. I'm a bit worried about White, whether he will stay as a centre back once Tomiyasu's back. Whether Saliba gets that spot, I don't know. The 4.5 defenders from Arsenal are tough. The goalkeepers don't like. I'll go for a 7 out of 10 just because of the goalkeepers and White.
Yeah, I'll go 7.5. I do believe in White. He's versatile, so I think he'll play no matter what. The goalkeeper's no good, and Walker's no good.
Cool. Another freemium. 7 out of 10. Let's just keep going. We talked about every player in these screenshots that are in the stream. And then finally, Madison, first time we've seen him. I don't mind that for the 8 million slot for the first 3 weeks. I think he can score against all of them, including Arsenal in Gameweek 2. 7.5.
6.5, no triple Arsenal.
This is either something offensive or a team. Okay, oh my God, there's more teams and the more replies. Well, Twitter doesn't like you guys for some reason, but
we do. So yeah, we'll do it quickly here. You got Salah, you got Vardy.
6.5 for me. Only 2 premium defenders. Sterling and Diaz, no Robbo. Vardy, no Haaland. Not for me.
No City.
Yeah,
I was looking at 7.5. I drop it down to 6.5 because no City.
I agree. This one, I will go for a 7.5 on this one. 8 if you like Edison.
Sounds right. 7.5 for me.
And then the last one on Twitter before we go back to Discord. Which one's your team, Flying Pigs? The one that was just on the screen. This 7.5. 8 for Edison. Thank you for the super chat or super thanks as well. But let us know, Flying Pigs. Is this the team you're going to have and then you're going to free hit in Game Week 2? Or was it the one with no City you're saying? And then you're going to free hit to get the City players against Bournemouth? Let us know. Let me refresh this before I move off Twitter altogether, just in case, because some of the people in the live chat said they've submitted a bit late. I'm going to just see if his team is here.
Anything without a like, huh?
So King Harry says, can we do his team? We have done every single team that has had a screenshot submitted, I guess.
Okay.
But maybe there's a few in here after the likes that we have not seen. We've done these ones from an hour ago. Yeah, we did this one. We just did this one. We just did this one. I'm going to do a Command F, King Harry. What's your Twitter handle? Because I do not... We've either done it earlier and you missed it in the stream, because we have gone through every single team that submitted a screenshot, as far as I know. Maybe not this one 16 minutes ago. Is this you? Fire Talk, don't worry. We're going to do the Discord. We did Discord first. We're going to do your Discord one next as well. Yeah, Harry, let us know which one's yours. Tell us your Twitter handle and I'll look for it. Mount Salah, Martinelli, Robson. I'll give this one an 8 out of 10.
City. Yeah, I'll give it a 7.8. A little less than an 8.
Don't know if this one's Harry either. This one, I will give it a starting Gordon to fit in a freemium. I got to go for a 7. I don't mind Gordon maybe in the future, but I just think there's so many other options like Bailey and Neto and Aronson that I prefer personally.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5 because it's really kind of the only issue, and it's addressable. And yeah,
I'm just checking if Harry's is in the hidden ones. It's not. Do you see a name that says Harry? If you let us know your Twitter handle, Harry, we will come back and look here in a second. For now, I'm going to get Fire Talk's team and a few of the haulers who put it into Discord where the members live. So let me just share the Discord again quickly. Have a look. So he has put it in RMT, I think. Yeah, so there's Fire Talk's team. So Fire Talk's team. So we'll look at Lawrence, Lentil. Okay, so Daniel's at the bottom of the replies. And let me just star these so we can find them. Lentil L. Harry's is bottom of the Daniel's bottom of the replies, and Harry saying he sent his name. Mine's Harry with an Oba logo. Okay, cool. We'll come back to you three straight after this team. We'll do those three as the last ones. So this one, Meslier in goal from Firetog, both Perisic and Doherty, even after the Doherty news that we've talked about in the stream. Darwin, De Bruyne and Son, double mid premium. This is a tough one for me to stomach. Aki on the bench. This is tough for me, Firetog. You're not making it easy. If I was a bolder, more maverick manager, I might give you a 7.5. But
no way.
The way I play, this is like I love De Bruyne. I think for me, this has got to be a 6.5.
I love the De Bruyne and Son midfield. I think that's a really interesting way to go. Not the way I would play it, but I respect that. The Doherty Perisic backline with Meslier and goalkeeper is unforgivable. Darwin in is unforgivable. I'm giving this a 3.5.
We're sorry, Fire Talk, but you're in Discord, so you can keep asking as many RMTs as you like until the deadline tomorrow. So I don't feel like you've been missed out today. I'm now looking for the last 3 people who we missed. So I've refreshed this. I'm looking for Harry with an Oba logo and Lentiel. Have a look for them. Tell me if you noticed them anywhere.
Okay.
So just see what we can see. So Harry with an Oba logo or Lentiel. Harry with an Oba logo. Don't see it, but maybe it's at the end. Do you see an Oba logo?
I see Lentiel.
Where was that one?
23 minutes ago.
20. Okay, so it's one of the more recent ones. This one, yeah,
I've got. It's Lentiel. Right above Fire Talk.
Perfect. So Son will be KDB in Gameweek 2. So Lentiel, Ramsdale, Trent, Cancelo, James, Perisic, Salah, Son, Mount. I really like this team. It's the first one we've seen with 2 4.5 strikers. 4-5-1. Don't hate that at all. The fact that you have a plan for Son to become a City mid, I really like that. I will go for, what do we give this? I will give you a solid 8 out of 10 because you have a plan. The reason I can't give more personally is I'm just a bit worried because I think that there is some value in those kind of strikers, and I don't really know how you're going to get to any of them. But if you're happy with the 2 premium mids and you think that Bailey and Martinelli and an 8 million mid is enough, then that's why I give it like maybe an 8.5. But for my style of play, it's a bit risky, but I think it's a solid team. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And your plan is solid as well.
Yeah, I like this team a lot. He's getting to a City asset against Bournemouth. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 as well.
What I'm doing is I am on the other screen opening my bloody league before it picks my player for me. My draft league, I'm opening it in the background because there's still 2 people that I want to get through. So Harry said, I think that he sent me a DM. Let me look. I must have missed the message request. I don't have a message request from you. You might have sent it to the Net That Haul. So what I'll do is I'll look in the Net That Haul Twitter. I might not have it on the shared screen, but at least I can just see your team. Yep, I see the message request. Harry, okay. Gameweek 1 squad. Okay, so he has 0.5 in the bank. And if we don't like the Arsenal triple up, who do we suggest? So he has Ward and Sanchez, Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Trippier, Salah, Martinelli, Saka, Bailey, Kane, Jesus, bench of Williams, Andreas Taylor. I love this Arsenal triple up attack. It might be 2 weeks too early. I'm considering maybe moving to it. I've got Mount as my 8 million midfielder. I might just make him Saka and triple up attack in Arsenal, just like you have, mate. So don't think there's anything wrong with that. But what would you suggest, Gabe, if he wasn't going to triple that up?
In terms of the 8 million mid, you mean?
Oh, I see where Harry's team was now. Okay, it was on the latest tweet, not the one that was from the original one. But yeah, this is the team. So what would you do here? Like, would you change the triple up attack? And if you would, what would you do? He has 0.5 million in the bank.
No, 0.5 in the bank is really nice. I don't think I'd necessarily change the triple up attack. If you like it, go for it. It's that the fixtures are there. These are three of the focal players in their attack, so there's no reason to not go for it, especially after the form we've seen in preseason. So I don't know. I don't think there's any reason to change that. I might, yeah. But that's just me. That's a Trippier thing. Again, this is a solid team. I'm going to give this like an 8.8.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to go. My bloody draft picked Trent instead of De Bruyne through my watch list. So that's fucking frustrating. No point in being third pick there. So, Nathaniel, we're not going to get a chance to do your team. We've definitely gone over like nearly 20, 30 minutes more than we were planning to. But what I would say is just DM it to one of us and we'll try and look at it before the deadline and give you our feedback. But
or you could join the channel, become a hauler, and you can throw as many RMTs in a Discord as you want.
Yeah, become a YouTube member, guys. Join the Discord with the other haulers, and we will make sure that we can support you guys and give you early access to the data. But thanks to everyone who tuned in. So Harry's saying, would you stay as it is? Yeah, I really like it. The only difference I would make today to your team is you could do Saka to Mount, wait to see how Mount goes, and then maybe go back to Saka in game week 3 once Arsenal play Bournemouth, if you want to diverge a bit.
If you do Saka to Mount, do Trippier to Gabriel.
Yes, but then he can't get back to Saka in game week 3, so the thoughts like keeping that slot open if he wants to triple that. But I think it's a very good teammate. I wouldn't be too afraid to start the season with that. So yeah, thanks guys. I will play us out of here. It's been a pleasure. Hit like if you enjoyed the stream. And there'll be a deadline day stream tomorrow with Gabriel and Mariner. So they'll be revealing their teams then too. But otherwise, take care, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Big love and see you for the next show. Take care. Peace out.
Bye.